Good afternoon, Dr. Rao. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Very, very fine, Gaurav. Nice meeting you.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you so much for taking out the time to record this for our audience. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure too.
So, Dr. Rao, I don't think a lot of audience would need your introduction. You've spent a lot of years, in the industry as one of the spearhead in the HR and business field. But people who may not know, let me take a couple of minutes and really let you introduce yourself. I don't think I'll be able to do justice. So, if you can just give your background, some of the work that you have done, that would really set the context. And in today's episode, sir, we are really looking forward to talk about something that we have not spoken about ever before, which is combining of dharma and karma. This has nothing to do with OKRs, nothing to do with strategy. I mean, of course, they are all a part of it, but we'll go a little deeper into our understanding of how karma is required and how dharma can play a part in that karma. So it will be a very interesting conversation. I'm very excited for it.
Wonderful. So let me talk about first is the Janma Bhumi. So we are Andhrites settled. Our village falls in the border of Andhra, Odisha. That is in Odisha. I studied in Odisha. Now, coming to the Karma Bhumi, so it spread over because we started my career in the mines of Chhattisgarh when I was joined Steel Authority as a management trainee. I was there with SAIL for 17 years, worked in mines, then Belai Steel Plant, then SAIL Corporate Office. So when I was in the mines, it was more of industrial relations. When it was Bhilai, is more about policies, new practices. When it came to the corporate office, a little from a micro level, the introduction of the new performance management system, HRD orientation to the personnel function, and also the compensation for the blue collar for the entire steel industry in the country. So that's how the sale experience went. Then I was with JK for about 9.5 years, Singhanias, where I worked in paper, tire, cement, dairy, magnetic tape, and the corporate office. These was late 95 onwards. So that with the time we're trying to establish talent management, assessments, productive industrial relations, bringing in transformation. Those kind of things were happening in the company, and people management was integrating with the things. Birlas, I was there for a short period of 2.5 years. It was more turnaround strategies I was involved. The rest of the time I was with Reliance. I was in the old economy segment of RIL. I was with aromatics, fiber, intermediaries, polyester, and textiles, both in India and abroad. I had an opportunity working with Reliance in Malaysia. It was a takeover of a Sikh company having the largest factory in the world in that segment. I was part of the turnaround team. We did turn around in less than 1 year. Then I was there about 5.5 years there. It was more a change management initiative, turnaround initiative, transformation initiative, excelling at a foreign land initiative. So that's how the Karma Bhumi ended and came back to India. Last 10 years, I'm on my own. I spend my time on, I can call it four pillars, starting with spirituality, community service, knowledge exchange, a little professional business, that too around relationship, synergy, ethics, culture. In fact, name of my company brand is Good People Relations. So live in Delhi. Uh, my son, daughter-in-law, granddaughter live here. daughter, son-in-law, and the grandson, they live in Vishakhapatnam. And I think as we proceed, more of me will be shared and articulated as it requires.
But thank you, Dr. Rao. I very vividly remember our first meeting. I remember it was meant to be for 1 hour, and we sat and chatted for maybe 3 hours, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I was really impressed and inspired by the journey and what you're doing right now and what you want to do in the future as well. And the four pillars, I think you had shared some great insight onto those four pillars, and something that we really enjoyed speaking about is the combination of dharma and karma. So, why don't we take a few minutes and let our audience also get a taste of that? So, why these four pillars? Why did you choose to create your whole business or your work right now on those four pillars? And where does the dharma come in? And what is that combination of dharma and karma that you talk about? Why don't we speak about that, sir, for a few
Wonderful,
minutes?
wonderful. In fact, the four things that I do, the spirituality, community service, knowledge exchange, and the kind of consulting and training that I do, they all lead to one common purpose of doing good to the community. A little bit that one can do as in one individual. And everything leads to the goodness, being good. So, in spirituality, as you picked up rightly, let's take using dharma in karma. That means you are purifying karma, you are doing sattvic karma, you are doing ethical karma. Secondly, the community service, when you are doing good, you are doing service, you are serving the needy. So, again, you are doing good. In the knowledge exchange, also, while I'll continuously learn, I'm able to share, so able to help others. So, lastly, the business also, as I said, workplace synergy, breaking the silos, creating an enabling, cordial culture. So these all will lead to, I call it something, being able to do good in the community, goodness in the community. That's how I'm seeing. Now, coming back to your specific question on dharma and karma, it is not dharma versus karma. I just want to clarify. It is actually dharma and karma, or dharma in
Correct.
karma. So, karma is the action, it's the action that we do, and it always has an effect. Some targeted, some not targeted, but always there is a result of an action. An action includes inaction also. So it's a cause and effect to it. Now, if you can build dharma into it, that means keep dharma as your foundation or a base on which you take actions. So that means dharma based karma. If you can do, so the karma becomes more ethical, more sattvic, more inclusive, and the result of that will be more pious, more pure. So we are not wishing away the result or a target, an objective, or a purpose, or a goal, because that is required in our lives. That if karma should lead us to some sattvic benefit or a result or earning, we create artha, the money which is required to enjoy our life or satisfy our needs. And then we move towards moksha. So we are saying, so dharma based karma will lead to artha, or the wealth, or the money, or the savings, which is pious, which is pure. It becomes sattvic wealth. You have the satisfaction of making that money in a very ethical manner. And that when you enjoy that artha, you really enjoy the pleasure. It will be better manner. That's how we do that. Use dharma and karma.
That's great, sir. I think the concept of dharma with karma versus dharma versus karma, I think it's very interesting. And I totally buy that, right? I don't think you need to choose one over the other. I think both of them can coexist and can actually do beautiful things together. However, I do have a question. Now, I have been working for about 23 years myself, right? And I've been involved in various businesses, various types of businesses from very early on. And sometimes it gets difficult to keep that in your subconscious mind, because as a business, you're always running on a treadmill which is running at the speed of 13, right? So you got to keep that fast momentum going on. Otherwise, you'll be off the treadmill. And once you're off it, it's very difficult to get back on it at that kind of speed that is. So what would you say to new age businesses, startups that are coming along, even big business houses who've been around for so many years? How do they bring this two together? Because we are always said that the first reason for a business is to be profitable. That's what the first reason of a business to
Yes,
exist is.
true, true.
And then this whole dharma element is absolutely very subconscious, very spiritual. So how can we bring this together? It's a very big tug of war in terms of founders, in terms of leaders, managers. So your view on this, please.
No, I think I mean, first thing I must compliment that you've done 23 years of service. Your work experience goes to 23 years. I never knew. You look so young. No, on
Thank you, sir. I'll take that as a compliment, but
now,
yeah.
coming to the objective of business. See, the objective of business is always a profit.
Yeah.
So we are now discussing whether that profit can be sattvic, pure, is possible to do. So I will take you to another plane. Think about any successful industrialist. That means he has succeeded in his business. We call it Vyapar. Try to think about his as giving qualities. Some will be around business, of course, his business acumen. He can forecast a business. He can decide quickly. He's very analytical. He can take risk. All that will be done. But if you start writing down and thinking about the person, you will see he'll be very humble. He will be very inclusive. He'll be building a great team, talent management. He will be very collaborative. He will be always influencing. He will be accessible. If you write down, you will see that those qualities outnumber the pure business specific qualities. In fact, when I'm talking to business people, entrepreneurs, just to simplify, I'm saying Vyavahar is one side, Vyapar is on the other side. Like Amir Khan said, कि काबिल बनो बच्चा, कामयाबी तो झक मार के पीछे पीछे आएगी. सेम वे व्यवहार ठीक करो, व्यापार अपना आप पीछे पीछे आएगी. This you have to establish by giving this tathya. Because today's young entrepreneur, young executive, he doesn't believe in somebody said or it is told. That's he called it kathya. He is very clear what is the truth. And for him, the difference between what has been told and what is reality is fact. I call it tathya. That means kathya plus tathya becomes satya, then it becomes acceptable. So you just talk to them and let them talk about their role models in the business world. You will see the most of the role models, they are very good in their behaviors, be in their people management. So that's how you have to build, and it's proven. So that is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is, when you make money, that money you make it for not only for you, you make it for your children, make it for parents, make it for dependents. See from their angle, the money that you are sharing with them, what is the source of making that money? Their respect for you will go up if they think, accept, know, and validate that you have earned that money in a very, very ethical manner. This is simple dharma. We are not talking about do any religion or doing any sacrifices. We are not talking about that. We are simply saying being ethical, being collaborative, being truthful, honest, transparent, and help each other, listen to each other. If somebody helped you, show his gratitude. Somebody has done the job, give the credit to him. So these are very, very basic principles our Sanatan Dharma has taught us. Use those. And they would like to know, by using those, are you losing out on business? So while using, there should not be any losing. So while using these principles should not lead to any using, you have to prove to them that if you have a good talent, whom you have mentored, empowered, taken care, they'll be more loyal, they'll be more committed, they'll be more proactive, they will walk the extra inch with you, and they'll do better. This has to prove to them. Same way, this 1x, 2x, 10x debate is going on. If you are my competitor, I do X business, you do X business, you kill me. What will you become? You will become 2x. You collaborate with me. Maybe together we'll make it 10x. So this has to be shown to them. People like you should show it to them that how collaboration works, how one can make money in an ethical manner. Ethical manner. This you have to do it, and it's people are now accepting it because there are many models available. And again, I'm just slightly expanding it. Gone are the days when on a 9-9 grid, we were told that if you are very good in your production, your output, your results, your discipline, you may not be good as a person in terms of caring, empathizing, culture, and all, or the vice versa. If somebody is very human, very humble, very caring, guiding, taking care of people, so he may not be able to do great in business. So now your new model, if you divide that into four quadrants, on x-axis you say culture, care, concern, ethics, empowerment, listening, all that you do. On a y-axis you put everything like production, productivity, quality, results, growth, everything you put that. On the right hand side top quadrant, there are people who can do both. May not be 9-9, maybe 8-7, maybe 7-8. They are more than 5 on both y-axis and x-axis. That is the quadrant we have to develop. I call them sahayogi. I mean, they can do both. And we are beating the earlier perception or that one is strong, the other will be weak. Not necessarily. One can be strong in both the axes. This is how it has to be established, and there are models available, people are available, great stories are available. I hope I have made clear.
No, sir, I think very important. And, that makes me reflect on my journey as well, right? And I have always been convinced, and I've always walked that path, that relationships are more important than what you create business in the short run, right? Sometimes relationships can take you far. And I think that Vyavahar over Vyapar or relationships or behavior that you do for your business is an extremely, extremely important concept for our young generation to understand and not be very short sighted, but have that understanding that if you keep those ethical values intact, then things can really come into your way and the way you want it to be in the long run. So I think very important, absolutely. So let me ask you a question then. How, so while we understand the importance of it, what are some of the ways that people in leadership role or managers or founders, how can they build this kind of discipline? What are the some of the ways for them to practice to bring that kind of a discipline in their work life, in their business life?
See, the fundamental characteristics of a leader who influences others is his practice, what he preaches. People will always follow what you do, not what follow what you say. First thing is he should be honest, he should be caring, he should be listening, he should be collaborative, he should be credible, he should have that character. That is the starting point. The second is, it is before coming to the niti and niyam, or you can say the policies, the practices, we'll have to work on the niyat, the intent, or the mindset. It's very easy to say that already values are embedded, the value system is now already got strengthened, so can't do anything. People talk like this. Maybe the family values, the education values, or the friendship values, or the community values might have influenced them to think that end of the day it's the result, it's not the relationship, it's always the business, not the behavior. Maybe. But then you see, the majority part of one's life is spent at workplace in the organization. The key, the active, if you see, the highest proportion of one's active life is spent at the organization. Similarly, in a day, out of those 14 or 16 hours of active life, he spent 10 hours here. So you will see, that means organizations have a greater role to play in the lives of employees. So one is this, setting examples by the founders and the top leaders. The second is our practices. Then now come from the practices, the policies. So if you can, one is the policy itself is not inclusive. The policy itself doesn't take care of the people angle. For example, I saw an advertisement say you will work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Men only may apply. So that is at the policy level itself, the inclusion, the human angle, the caring angle is not there. The other is the practice angle. Many times the policies are good, but in the practices we don't see. That is where the leaders play a role. So you will have to create that culture where goodness is rewarded, honesty is recognized, collaboration is encouraged, ethics is praised. So that's what the leaders and managers can do. One is they're practicing, the other is what is encouraging the organization. I will tell you a particular case. An executive went to a conference, it was a technical conference. He snatched the costing data of a competitor whose representative was sitting next to him. It was a technical conference. It was a very research R&D related costing data. When he came to the organization, he was not rewarded. He was not promoted. He was asked to leave. That is the example an organization should set. Small. That means another example. It's an IT company. I went to their canteen. The canteen doesn't have any salespeople, no cashier. There are only people who replenish the stocks. If some item is getting over exhausted, they'll come and put. Prices are written on the items. People pick up the items, eat while leaving. There is a big system there. You punch their code or a personal number and put that money and go. I saw two people not doing that. I asked the HR chief, "You must be losing out." He said, "No, sir, we are not losing. They are losing." What do you mean by they are losing? They lost their credibility in the minds of others. They are the loser. So, if you can set such example in the organization, that means we trust people. Take another example. It was a large manufacturing organization. There was a debate over increasing the security arrangement because they saw some pilferage happening while leaving the workplace. The leadership team, instead of spending more money on security, they decided to dispense with frisking while leaving. And they issued a circular. We care for employees. We come to know that a considerable time is wasted on account of frisking while leave the work premises. We want our employees to go home on time, spend more time with the families. I hope this gesture will be appreciated. They didn't write anything about the pilferage. What a positive impact it made on the employees and their families. The families became more active and started questioning if they saw any element of pilferage in the person. So you just see. So these are all examples of how leaders can set great examples that we believe in honesty, we believe in integrity, we also practice integrity, and will encourage integrity. It's possible to do. That's why I
Sure.
give you these three
Uh,
examples.
so, one question that comes to my mind is that do you think this is binary? Like people either have it or do not have it, and it's zero or one journey, or it's a continuous improvement journey? What have you seen from your experience?
See, there are two schools of thought. One is honest or is not honest. In my view, there is always something called a scale. See, somebody loses his cool. He loses his cool on occasions. I mean, somebody is faltering, but very negligible, very minor. So I think scale is a better way of looking at things. Scale is a better way of looking at things. That is collaborative. He's most of the time he maintains a cool calmness. So I think if you can do that as in a scale and start improving, believing in people that they can improve, that will be a better method or an approach in my view.
No, that is great, sir. Thank you. I think this was fantastic conversation, and I'm sure there is a lot of nuggets for our audience to pick from this. Any leaving comments, sir? Anything that you want to leave with the audience as a last thing?
See, you are doing a great job because you are spreading joy, and you are weaving performance and joy together. What a great thought.
Which is a
Joy
difficult
of,
thing to do, sir, but
it's
we are
joy
trying.
of performing. If you can make employees enjoy while at work, enjoy their work while working, what a great contribution you are making in creating a world where karma that he does as an employee, he not only makes him feel he's important, it gives him that pleasure of contributing, it gives him that internal joy that I have done something, I have achieved something. And when he goes back, he will be a better person day in and day out, and his life gets enriched. So you are integrating work and life, and you are creating this joy. And this joy, when I said this joy, it's not the external joy. I'm talking about the internal joy, or we call it the ananda, that really comes out when you have very genuine set of expectation setting, when you enable people to achieve those goals, when you give feedback to people for their improvement, when you give them the rewards for what they've achieved. By practicing these four elements, you are making them feel that there is fairness in the organization. So that fairness makes the job lighter. Even difficult things, if the difficulty had fairness behind it, you will not see the pain, you will see a pleasure. You will see that you have trust in me. You, in fact, think that I'm capable of doing the difficult job. So my ego gets boosted. I see that my potential is being recognized. I will do that extra bit to do more. So I will strive more. So this is the result of that internal joy or the joy of performance. So I would recommend to everyone, particularly in the people who are in the at workplaces and even at institutions, NGOs, government, even at home, whatever job that you do, enjoy doing it. So that will be a great way of living our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Rao. Dr. Rao, what is the best way for our audience to reach out to you in case they want to?
So the one is my website, gprao.in. That's the easiest. The other one, if somebody wants to send a mail, it is again simple, gprao77 at gmail.com. Both are welcome. Otherwise, through Joy of Performance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What a pleasure to have you here, sir. Thank you so much for your time. And thanks for this great wisdom that you have bestowed on us today.